All right, this is one of my last corrlinks email to Schaeffer before they took it away, and let me just read to you. It says, "Hi Schaeffer. When a new person asks why Schaeffer was unjustly prosecuted, what specifically did the government do wrong? Here's what I have in my notes," and I'm just kind of like brainstorming with him, right? It was late at night, and I was just trying to get him an email, and I want to read to you what I wrote to him, and then I want to read to you what he wrote to me back, because this is the last corrlinks that I may ever get from him. I mean, these guys are so evil. I don't know, where this thing is going and where it will end up. All I know is I'm never giving up. But I said, in regards to withholding exculpatory evidence, they destroyed the Pikes Peak landing audio, where Bill Fulton was drunk and talking about arresting judges and trying to make it was like Schaeffer's plan, and then Scrocky told Bill Fulton to throw that audio away. So that's an example of withholding exculpatory evidence. I said the jury never heard the audio of many times Schaeffer rejecting calls for violence from informants repeatedly. Talk about the entrapment through death threats and prodding to violence. Bill Fulton death threats, Aaron Bennett death threats, Gerald J.R. Olson prodding repeatedly and using and turning the recording on and off to seed the 241 discussions to make it look like it was Schaeffer that was bringing up that topic, when all along it was Gerald J.R. Olson that knew about that terminology back in the Freeman, Montana standoff with militia leader Norm Olson. I said they've used known perjured testimony. Olson knew about 241 long before engaging Schaeffer. They have manipulated witnesses like Trina Bucamp, making her think that she was betrayed by Schaeffer, and then Trina Bucamp now sees the light and is a friend of Schaeffer, and she says that she knows Schaeffer would never hurt her. They manipulated witnesses like Mike Anderson. They threw him in a cell naked, and he tried to commit suicide. They tried to get him to come up with evidence on Schaeffer, but Mike Anderson never did, not only because there is no evidence, but because Mike Anderson is a respectable human being. Also, the weapons charges. Schaeffer's done a video that covers all the weapons charges, including the grenade that he could have put all the pieces together that we probably all have in our house today, JB Weld and powder. Some people do reloads for guns. And then they planted fuses from Aaron Bennett. And then he put a garden hose over his gun with shaving cream, and they called that a deadly silencer. You can put it's like you put a garden hose over your gun. And then they talk about the drop weapons when they were trying to kill him, when they arrested him, but somebody walked up and put a stop to the killing. And then how they kidnapped Schaeffer's family through the actions of Gerald J.R. Olson. And Schaeffer goes into the kidnapping. I might need to do a video on that and recount the story again just to refresh everybody's mind. And then I wrote, Schaeffer, I got to run to church. If you can help me fill in the specifics. I need to be specific with the best examples. Anyway, it says, I'm praying for you daily because of Jesus. And then here's what Schaeffer wrote. This is one of the last emails that I got back from him. He says Schaeffer had done he's talking about himself, right? He had done nothing wrong or illegal. He discovered the drug trafficking and the child abuse ring and was talking smack about the government. So they tried to kill him. Then when that failed, they railroaded him through a show trial. Schaeffer often talks about the pedophilia that was going on for big important men at the Ocean View House in Alaska. Now, if you look up that, one of the examples is Bill Allen was having sex with underage girls like Bambi Tyree, and there were men at the Ocean View House that was setting that up, and they were covering for each other because they were part of a big club that liked to have sex with underage girls. And so Schaeffer found out about that and was exposing it, and he was upsetting from some very rich and very powerful men. Bill Allen was one of them, and Bambi Tyree was one of the young girls that was accused. Bill Allen was accused of having sex with Bambi Tyree when she was under the age of 18. And it was all arranged at the Ocean View House. Okay, Schaeffer goes on to write, this is about not letting our country be run by federal goons who use mafia tactics to get rid of good people who won't play ball with the corrupt establishment. They threatened my baby son to try to cause a false flag. Did you hear what he said? That's very important. They threatened his baby son Seth to try to cause a false flag. They ran audio and video recorders into his house without a warrant or even reasonable suspicion for over 2 years, all the while knowing that Schaeffer was a good man and not breaking any laws. This was a failed attempt to cause a false flag. Then it turned into a cover-up trial where the actual recordings were not allowed, and the liars for hire, which would be Fulton, Aaron Bennett, and Gerald J.R. Olson, and possibly Chris Menino and others, liars for hire were the foundation of the government's case. And give examples. In a country where a guy in a black robe can overrule reality, there is no atrocity that the government cannot commit. Cox was moved to a city far away so he could not meet with his attorney. Then the assistant U.S. Attorney Scrocky intercepted all of Cox's letters sent to his defense attorney, kept them, and turned them over to Cox's attorney the day trial began. Scrocky edited the audios, then reformatted them so the seams could not be located. He then lied to the judge to get out of having to give us the originals. That's a very important thing too, and I've got a lot of evidence on that, and that's on my things to do list. Scrocky, you're going to be exposed for re-editing those audios. That's guaranteed. You're going to be exposed for that. Scrocky's argument to the jury that the only reason Cox refused to plot a violent attack on the government was because he knew there was no way he'd be able to pull it off. But he doesn't believe in the government and he wishes it was gone. So he's guilty because he would if he could. He would if he could. If this case is upheld, every patriot in America can be convicted the next day and sent to prison just like Cox, which is no doubt the master plan. So people better push back like their lives depends on Cox's case, because it kind of does. The prosecutors show that they were very frustrated by Cox's unwillingness to commit a crime. All right, so that's one of the very last letters that I'll receive from Schaeffer Cox on corrlinks unless they reestablish it, which who knows what will happen in the future. But I thought that was important to read and to get out. I have a tremendous amount on my plate for my things to do, and Scrocky, Yvonne Lamori, Joseph Bottini. I wish I could say Brenda Morris. Now that I've learned about Brenda Morris, man, she is one evil, evil, wicked lady, what she did to Senator Ted Stevens. Karen Loeffler, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Richard Sutherland, Agent Sandra Klein, Gerald J.R. Olson, Bill Fulton, Aaron Bennett, all you guys think you're going to get away with it. You think you're going to live the rest of your lives in happiness and everybody's going to forget about Schaeffer? Let me tell you something. People ain't going to forget about Schaeffer. This thing's going to get bigger and bigger, and we ain't ever going to shut up.